my fellow readers. Today I'm going to be talking about The Other World's Books Depend on the Bean Counter, Volume 1. I just got Volume 2 in, but for this purposes of this review, I'm only going to be talking about Volume 1. So before I get into more of my personal thoughts on it, I'll read the back. Once upon a time, in the not-too-distant past, a holy maiden was summoned. Not just any holy maiden, one hailing from modern Japan, but this story is not her story. This is the tale of the humble accountant, Kondo, who accompanied her and his trials and woes as he accounts in a new world. But no tale is complete without a love interest, and who better to play that role than the handsome knight captain Arash? Will he begin a personal quest to save said bean counter, who toils around the clock, or is Kondo doomed to be married to his work evermore? So this is a really cute fantasy BL story, isekai fantasy BL story. So if you like isekai and you want to see how that kind of plays out in a twisted BL version, this is so fun and cute. So on the day that the Holy Maiden, right, that's what they're going to call her here, yeah. The Holy Maiden is summoned. Kondo, the accountant, sees her and like what's happening, and he actually goes to help her. And in so doing, he also gets pulled into the fantasy world. And much to the surprise of those who summoned the Holy Maiden, that suddenly here's this accountant with her. So for her, of course, she's taken off to go into Holy Maiden training and do all her thing. I think if you know isekai, you know like what happens. Think, you know, the Savior's Book Cafe in another world, that kind of thing. They ask Kondo what he would like to do. I think he is, in general, stuck there, but he kind of has the ability to just live a life of luxury from there on out. He doesn't have to do anything because it was an accident and the kingdom feels bad for him being pulled in, so they're kind of willing to do whatever for him. But instead of choosing a life of luxury, he essentially asks to have a job. He's so used to being that devoted salaryman that he, asks to be a job and ends up going into the accounting of this kingdom. And there's like different divisions, and he ends up in a certain accounting division that is kind of, there's not much asked from them, but also they're kind of expected to just turn the other way about a lot of somewhat inappropriate uses of funds. And as a newcomer to this, Kondo, one, doesn't know that that's the typical thing, but two, isn't really okay with that because they're using the kingdom's funds incorrectly or not appropriately. I'm trying to think of the actual word, but my brain doesn't want to give me it, so it's fine. So he kind of sets about to correct things with the budgeting and make sure that they're putting in proper requests for what they want and that there's good reasons that they want what they want, which upsets a lot of the soldiers because they think that they have a right to get whatever they want and that their expense lines can be as big as they want it to be because they're the military. And it's really fascinating. I really enjoyed that part, which sounds really dorky, but it is good that it brings in like these other elements and how people are living. Meanwhile, there is like was he captain? There's a higher rank official, Arash, and he's been around and kind of observing since the beginning. Like since he was brought into the world, he's been observing what's going on with this bean counter, and just that's another term for the accountants. And he thinks he's an unusual person because he had the right to choose not to do anything, but he chooses to work. And then throughout the story, like Arash is checking on him and seeing how he's doing, and hears like rumors about him. But it's also interesting how like he monitors like his health and everything as well. Like there's, so he's really into accounting, right? Like he's so into whatever he does in his job that he loses sleep and he starts to look terrible. And one of the other workers, his co-workers, gives him this potion which he then ends up getting kind of addicted to the potion, but it also like adds to his vibrancy and stuff. So I don't know. Meanwhile, Arash is in the background and he sees like this stuff happening. All this to say that there is a point where this ends up culminating that through one of the pills, or potions, I don't remember if it's from that one directly, but he ends up kind of overdosing on this potion that, since he's a normal person, he needs to get rid of all of that essence, all of that magical buildup or whatever. Arash kindly volunteers to help him get rid of it, and it is done through physical means, if you get my drift. So nothing overly explicit, but you know what's happening and what goes on, and it's just from there you would almost expect a flipping with their relationship. But again, Kondo is the type that he just like goes back to work and is like, yeah, thank you for helping me get back to normal, and now I gotta go to work. And so Arash is like thrown for a loop, and it's just really funny. And yeah, that's potential spoilers for volume 1, but you know what, who cares, it's only volume 1. There's at least a volume 2 and continuing into volume 3. I don't know when volume 3 is coming out, but it's super fun because you need to know about that impetus to where that's why you want to know what's going to happen next. Because their relationship is so funny, and Kondo is just so unaware of a lot of things because he's so dedicated to his one mindset of doing his work. And I really can't wait to see, and I hope that he gets kind of pulled out of that and is able to develop more of a relationship, a closeness. So that's what I'm waiting to see. And I'm so excited that I got volume 2 in, and I'm going to be reading it as soon as I can because it's just so fun. This also has lovely, lovely artwork. I think if what I'm reading here is correct, I would not be surprised if this wasn't based on a light novel because it says original story, Yatsuki Wakatsu, character designed by Kika Ohashi, but the manga adaptation is Kazuki Irodori. So my thought is it was probably a light novel, and I would love to own the light novel if there is one. And yen, you want to release it in the yen online, like that would be a welcome thing. I would gladly do it. I mean, if it doesn't exist, if they just created characters and then a manga came, like that's fine too. But if it's a light novel, can we get it here? Because I feel like we don't get a lot of BL light novels, and I'd like to have that kind of diversity. I think it'd be fun. I think that there are definitely more girls love titles. I've seen at least 2 or 3. So I think it'd be nice to get some BL titles too. And this story is just so fun. I like their dynamic. I like that you have a really like buttoned up suits guy who loves to do his accounting and manage the books. And you have a soldier that's so like enamored and frustrated by his being enamored of this buttoned up accountant. So like I love that dynamic. I think they're totally fun and would recommend this if you like isekai, if you want to try an isekai BL. If you want an isekai that's a little different from the norm, this definitely fits that because, again, he's not the Holy Maiden, but he is doing his best to kind of save the kingdom and the world that he's been thrust into. And it's just super fun. I really enjoyed this one, and I would highly, highly recommend it. And honestly, that's it for this video. I'm going to move on so I can read volume 2. Until next time, bye.